So if you're anything like me and my wife, we like to travel. So last year we hit Florida and then we spent a week in Lisbon, Portugal before all these shutdowns happened again. And as you recall, I always tell people starting out, invest in things you know and things you use. So today I want to share 5 dividend stocks for travel lovers. Now, actually, with the shutdowns that have happened since 2020, this was actually really hard to do. It was a very hard study because the traditional names we would talk about stopped paying dividends. So whether we're talking about airlines or cruise ship companies or even the iconic Disney, finding stocks that represent travel that are still paying dividends was difficult. So some of these are only tangentially related to travel, but you'll get it as we go through. Now, the first company we're going to talk about is American Express. And before you start thinking I'm crazy about my first stock being a credit card company, just hear me out. Amex issues many of the travel cards out there, such as Delta Sky Miles cards, Hilton Honors, and even the Marriott Bonvoy card. And their Platinum card, which is kind of the granddaddy of all expensive credit cards, gives you great travel benefits, including lots of points and access to airline lounges at the airport. But besides credit cards, Amex also offers travel insurance, and they also have a travel agency that works with large kind of Fortune 500 companies that they use to book travel for their employees. They provide foreign exchange services, and if you are as old enough like me to remember, Traveler Checks, they were one of the original travel check companies. Now, with a payout ratio of less than 20% and a PE of less than 20, this will allow you to participate in a large player in the travel market. Now, most hotels stopped paying a dividend in 2020, assuming they were even paying one in the past. But Choice Hotels has maintained their dividend during these difficult times. I like Choice Hotels when we're traveling by car. Their quality inns and Choice Hotels have always been to me kind of clean and quiet, if not a fancy, if you just need a place to lay your head. Now, you aren't getting a huge dividend, but it is a growing one and has a payout ratio of less than 25%, which means they should be able to maintain that dividend well into the future, even if there's more shutdowns that come by. Now, our next choice is another bank, and that bank is JP Morgan Chase. Now, JP Morgan owns Chase credit cards, which issue things like Southwest Airlines credit card, what I use, the United Mileage Plus credit card, and others. And if you travel a lot and you enjoy travel hacking, why wouldn't you buy a strong bank that has a price to earnings ratio of less than 10, a payout ratio going forward of 36%, and it just increased their dividend by 10 cents a share. This is a great way to get into a dividend growth stock for those of you who like travel. Now, back before 2020, I would have been telling you to buy Boeing, since them and Airbus were the main manufacturers of commercial aircraft we fly on. But of course, they also cut their dividend to nothing. So instead, let's take a look at Raytheon. Now, Raytheon is normally known as a defense contractor, and that's true. They make things like missiles and radar systems for the US government and Department of Defense. But they're also a very integral part to commercial airline travel. They own Pratt & Whitney, which makes aircraft engines, but even make things like, seats for planes, evacuation systems, baggage control systems, HEPA filters that used in planes, and even things that you don't see, like the actuators and motors that are used in the mechanicals of the airplanes that you and I fly on. Now, they most recently increased their dividend a year ago by 7%, and their forward-looking payout ratio is less than 50%. Now, their PE is quite high, but I see air travel and defense spending going up, not necessarily going down over the next couple of years. Now, the last stock on this list is Boyd Gaming. And Boyd Gaming owns hotels, casinos, riverboats, and restaurants, not just in Las Vegas, but all over the United States, including riverboats in the Midwest and casinos in Mississippi. And in addition to owning those casinos and hotels all around the US, they also own Vacations Hawaii, which does vacation packages from Hawaii to Las Vegas. Now, their dividend yield is low, but they just recently doubled their dividend from 7 cents to 15 cents a share in the most recent quarter. And if you couple that with a payout ratio of less than 15%, there's plenty of buffer and safety for them to keep that dividend going. Now, just to reiterate, this was a difficult video to research for. The companies we used to associate in the travel industry that pay dividends, such as Royal Caribbean, Delta Airlines, Marriott, they all stopped paying dividends in 2020. Because I believe in the dividend growth model, I couldn't recommend some of the more growth-oriented travel stocks like airlines or Uber and the others. Now, as for me, I currently own shares in JP Morgan Chase, and I have been looking to pull the trigger on Raytheon, but I might have missed my window on that already. And Amex looks interesting, but their yield is so low that JP Morgan has such a better yield, I have a hard time justifying getting American Express over JP Morgan. But what do you think? Any dividend paying stocks that you like that are associated with the travel industry? Leave a comment below on the stocks I might have missed, and I'll see you in the next video, and bye for now.